Okay, question. Where was the first New Hampshire bridge ever to be built by Europeans located? Also, where was the first mill ever to be built in New Hampshire located? Hint, they were located in the same place. Another hint, this is the location. If you live in the seacoast, you know where this is. This is Route 1A in Rye. First mill ever built in New Hampshire was located right there at the narrow point of Seaveys Creek Basin. The bridge connects Odeon Point with the main body of land that leads down to Portsmouth and Newcastle. Very first settlement of Europeans in New Hampshire was here on Odeon Point. It happened in 1623, 2 years after the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock. New Hampshire's settlement, however, lasted only 3 years, and at that time they tore up roots and moved to Boston. But some of the original people stayed behind, and just across the bay down here is Strawberry Bank, which became the seacoast major settlement. Well, people moved between the point and the bank. Strawberry Bank, as you know, became Portsmouth. And people needed to cross this tidal river without a boat, so about 1830 a bridge was built right there, constructed of tall pine trees, probably mast trees. For years it was called the Pine Tree Bridge. And because this was a narrows, this would be an ideal place to construct a tidal grist mill that used the ocean tides to replenish the basin. And so a dam was built. It had gates that allowed the incoming tide to fill the basin, and then just before the tide went out, the gates were closed and the outgoing tide was directed over the water wheel. But as I say, we don't know who built this first mill. We do know that it was sold and owned by the Odeon family until 1862, and of course, that's the family that gave the name to Odeon Point. I said all this happened about 1630, and the reason we don't know the exact date the mill or the bridge was built, or who built it, was because in 1852, the town records were destroyed for political reasons. So, we don't know the specific dates and the persons, but we do know that when it comes to colonial infrastructure, this is where it started.